just peacefully take the gun away and tell him to stop.
Yeah, it's like people seem to think the cops. What are the cops supposed to do? Just get shot? No, here's my opinion on it. If you are resisting arrest, I'm sorry, but you forfeit all sympathy for me. If you're running away from the police, if you are fighting them, you fight the police in court, not on the street. If you think you're being wrongfully arrested, you deal with it later. What you don't do is fight somebody with the gun. That is not going to end well for you, because also that is a crime. Resisting arrest is a crime. Not saying you should be just shot right away, but the worst every single one of these cases I've heard of is the person, besides George Floyd, they were resisting arrest. Most of the time they were assaulting the police officer, but occasionally they were running away. But still, it's like, yes. And even with George Floyd, he literally chugged enough fentanyl to kill a horse before that happened. So while the police definitely didn't do the right thing, what they did wouldn't have killed him had he not chugged the fentanyl.
I swear this entire world has turned into GTA.
I know what the thing is, and this is the thing that nobody realizes. I'm going to go Alex Jones here for a minute, although then again Alex Jones has been proven right just about everything he's talked about. What people don't realize is the whole race issue thing started right after the frickin' Reform Wall Street movement in 2012, or whatever they called it. Occupy Wall Street, that's what it was. A bunch of young people got together and realized that billionaires were rigging the economy to make them richer, and tried to expose them for it, and then immediately the race stuff starts. And now look, nobody's talking about it anymore. Now all of a sudden it's a race issue, and nothing ever gets done about it. That's the problem. They are doing this. They're trying to keep people at each other's throats so we don't realize. Something that nobody realizes. You know why nobody can buy a house these days? Is because freaking Chinese companies and big conglomerates are literally buying up every actual house and just renting to people. Nobody's actually able to buy a house. That's why the housing market is so inflated now.
Not bad, but
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, it's BlackRock and Vanguard Group. Those two companies are just buying every house on the market right now and then just renting them out. So that way they can just keep making money off of them.
Just saying, if Elon Musk buys Twitter, I think the world will be
a
better place.
He did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, then Twitter's saved. Well, not really, but it's kind of saved. Yes. Because you still got those toxic idiots on Twitter, but at least
yes, but now everybody can be toxic on Twitter.
exactly.
I'm gonna spread so much misinformation.
America.
It's not saved until an edit button is applied.
No, everybody should be able to see your idiotic tweets permanently. I don't.
Times Bob Parker spells something
Never
wrong.
forget when Pemcraft.
Oh yeah, by the way, somebody
liked
asked if the guy that Daniel Dye assaulted had lights. They asked Bob Parker.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Daniel Dye's the next nutcracker.
No, he's the nutbuster.
He is the Nutcracker. Deathbomb, there's a car there. Thanks, bud. My guy,
Hey, yo,
literally
going
just
down on
decided
Deathbomb?
to. Okay, whatever, buddy. Sure.
The fact that, I mean, I'm all for equal rights for trans people and all that, but I mean, I kind of hate it when, they're going to...
Hem, why'd you make the race only 30 laps?
I hate that.
No, because we don't do overtimes on the road courses anyway, so we might as well just do that so we can all get credits and stuff. I think I'm gonna do what Racing Fans League did, which is where 2 sectors before with 2 to go is no caution.
It's dumb.
I disagree. You're dumb.
No.
But anyway, opinion invalidated.
It's not what your mom says.
Opinion invalidated.
I don't know. Just take your mom's opinion into account.
Oh, I'm gonna try and send a video on Discord if I can.
Apparently,
just
I do
how,
a better job than the last guy that was in.
There's a video on my GoPro to show how slow some people actually are on
Mentally,
I thought you were gonna say I have a video on my GoPro that's take a look at that.
Yeah, there is a video. There's a video on my there's a video on my GoPro of how slow some people are.
Again, mentally or
we're just gonna see people blowing his doors off.
Like I said, how I always race with couples and they're so slow. I have GoPro videos of just how slow they are. I'll see if I can send it my Discord, but the file size might be too big.
Just like my dick.
I didn't know it was a file size, but that's pretty cool.
My inflated ego.
His penis is 2 megabits.
You put it on a USB.
That's the size of a USB. That's pretty funny. Yeah, not even.
Hey, stick a USB up your butt and save that bullshit for someone else.
Empty, that was. You know what's something that I just find weird? Because we're on the topic of politics. Do you guys remember? I don't know if it was like this for you guys.
I've heard in a while.
Oh yeah, it was pretty funny. But have you guys do you guys remember? Or at least it was like this for me when I was growing up. How everybody was always talking about, be who you want to be, accept yourself. You can do whatever you want. Gender stereotypes are stupid. And now, somehow, we've gone so far into gender stereotypes that if you're a guy who wants to play with Barbies, you have to get your schlong chopped off. I'm like, how do we 180 so hard from if you're a guy who wants to play with Barbies, that doesn't make you any less manly, to you're not even a man anymore, you're a woman. How? How did that happen?
I remember Brandon Devine told me this. He's like, I can't believe how 8-year-olds are choosing their genders. While when I was 8, I didn't even know how cars got in malls. That's what he said.
I mean, he's not wrong. Here's the thing, though.
Kids either.
There
It's more or less
there is
their
no
parents
such
are doing
thing.
it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a trans person pretty much below the age of 16 at the earliest.
My kid drew crayons on his nails. He's now a girl.
Because the thing is, whenever you ask them, what they think of as the other gender is literally the things the other gender does. That doesn't mean that they don't know. Although then again, even the adults don't seem to know what a man or woman is anymore.
I know, right? I mean,
they think it's so funny. If you ask what a woman is, their genuine opinion of a woman is literally stereotypes. It's so funny to me. Their idea of a woman is if you basically want to be the homekeeper or whatever, or you want to wear, be all fashion and wear makeup and color your nails and stuff. I don't understand. How do we 180 so freaking hard from be whoever you want to be to you are so conformed in a box that if you want to do this thing, you literally have to get surgeries to just do this one activity? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me.
Dude, this track is way too long. Should have done the short version, dude.
I remember when I was younger how it's be who you want to be, and what that meant was that be who you want to be when you're older, like your dream job, not your gender. That's who be what you want to be back then, or 10 years ago. But
oh my God, you're
it just flopped over.
Also, and there is a reason why the trans community has a 40% suicide rate. It's not because of bullying. It is because if you are transgender, then that means you were either pushed into it by somebody else, or you don't feel comfortable with how your body is. Those are already 2 signs of you're in trouble for depression. Those are already 2 signs of you're gonna have depression. So, and telling kids that the only way that they're gonna get out of depression is getting surgery that will alter their physique
put a lot of stress
forever.
on them.
Yes, you're telling them to get surgery that will basically destroy their body forever.
Exactly.
And you tell them that's what's going to make them happy. When that doesn't make them happy and they can't go back on those surgeries, that's why they kill themselves.
And I think they're really scared to even go into surgery in the first place. Who wants to do surgery just because something you want, and they'll think
it's harmful. It's so harmful to people.
It is.
And what's sad about it is they call you transphobic for raising that awareness. There is a 40% suicide rate. We need to look into this, people. There's a reason for it. There is a reason for it. I'm sorry, but saying that I don't want kids to be pushed into a path that gives them basically a 4 in 10 chance of killing themselves, I'd rather that not happen to somebody. So can we think of other solutions, please? Maybe. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
I'm glad you guys are sane.
And a lot of times, like, they try to find stuff that makes them feel happy.
Exactly.
In reality,
They just need Jesus. They need Jesus.
instead of feeling happy, you should be happy.
There's a difference between, being happy and feeling happy is different.
Yeah,
It's a genuine difference.
instead of forcing yourself to be happy from surgeries, just be humble with what you have.
Accept yourself, accept
Exactly. What we should be telling people is accept yourself how you are and just be cool with it.
Yeah, just be humble who you are, not force yourself to be different.
I mean, like, no, people wonder why Gen Z has horrible mental state. There's a reason for it, people, because climate activists are saying the world's going to die in 5 years
jeez.
when that's clearly
Sorry,
wrong.
Bernie, I came high.
You have
that's 2 cars.
cautions out, race it back to the sector. You have people on the
Sorry,
left
Bernie.
saying that basically the people on the right, if you're a minority, that the people on the right want to kill you. You have people on the right saying people on the left want to absolutely obliterate this country and make everybody a commie, which isn't technically wrong. Well, not everybody on the left. See, and that's the thing that people don't seem to understand. Extremists are like at the most 10% of each party, which means 80% of the population is relatively normal. It's just that, like, most Democrats, that's the difference between Democrats and Republicans, and this is why the Biden administration is failing so hard. You can only gaslight people on Twitter so much when gas prices are this high. That's why. Everybody still just gets their news from Twitter and on Instagram or whatever, but when you go to the pump and it costs 2 times much to fill up your car, you can't lie. The Biden administration can't racism their way out of this one. They can call this the Putin price hike all they want, but the fact is that gas rose $1 before Putin's invasion of Ukraine even happened in the first place, and it's not like Biden's doing anything to make it better.
Preach.
Ridiculous.
Let's just say our world is screwed up. And it has...
No.
Oh no, the world's screwed
No,
up.
the world.
The world is screwed up. The whole world is
Yeah.
fucked.
Everybody thinks that their opinion matters. It's because of the day of social media. Back when you only had a couple people that you talked to, you're like, I will openly admit, my opinion doesn't matter on like anything.
That's why I just genuinely don't care about politics, because, hey, people are like, oh, your voice matters, your opinion matters. Like, no, it's not. Whether I vote or not is not going to put someone in office.
There's a difference between thinking that your opinion matters and being informed. There is a difference. Everybody needs to be informed of what's going on in the country, but you don't need to think that your opinion matters. We are, but pits are open as well, so I imagine most people are going to take it down pit road here.
I would pit. This seems like a smart position to pit from.
Dude, everybody's pitting. Oh, Bernie! Bernie's going for it! He's going for it!
Good luck, Burnster. You're gonna
Hey, he's gonna gain like 30 seconds on this, so he can go an extra 3 laps of gas, so we'll see.
Actually, that's true, but with fresh tires, does that mean anything?
But see, here's the thing. Bernie just got himself out of traffic. He just got clean air.
That's true. Yeah, actually, that's 100% true.
Yeah. He just put himself off strategy. So,
we'll see how that goes for him.
Is everybody gonna take a full tank?
Yeah, I am.
Besides, it might rain, so...
Oh, yeah, if it rains. Bro, if it starts raining when he's gone out, dude, that'd be hilarious. Oh my gosh. Pem doesn't take a full tank of gas.
It is overcast. Holy crap, it is overcast.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. It changed while we were on pit road. Yep,
oh yeah, radar on, boys. Oh man, the tires are cold. Watch out, boys.
Oh, they are. Holy cow.
I almost crashed twice already.
Nothing so far on the 92 mile.
I mean, politics for me, I don't care.
What did Penske send in the general?
Don't look.
What's black to me?
Yeah, Bush did the same thing I did.
Jake, don't look.
Yeah,
you don't want
to.
You know what, Jake? Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, I see the description. I am not going close to that.
Yeah, I was going to tell you. You don't want to do that, my guy.
Alright, let's see. We'll ascend.
It's so sad how bad society is today. with just how stupid people are. It's so sad too, because like I said before, you're considered conservative now if you actually pay attention to the way the world works. It's very sad. Everybody just four-wheel drifted.
Same.
Ways like we view certain things. Like I mean, we're at the point where like shootings are just a fucking normality at this point.
Exactly, and they say it's gun violence. Here's the thing: why don't we stop mentally deranged people from committing these things? If somebody who wants to murder somebody wants to murder someone, they'll get a weapon. John West Townley used an axe. Somebody in my local area stabbed someone to death with a freaking barbecue fork a couple years back. If people want to kill somebody, they're going to do it. There's many ways to do it. A gun, sure, is a way to do it fast, but I don't think people quite understand how that whole situation works. It's not the gun's problem.
It's the person.
It's the person.
Exactly.
The gun doesn't just randomly go and shoot 15 people in a Walmart parking lot. No, it's some deranged person who almost every time is revealed to have been on the FBI watch list for months. And because the FBI was too busy investigating Donald Trump and now parents at PTA meetings, they're too busy doing that to actually investigate deranged psychopaths.
Just saying, I just posted a video on the Discord in the general for the Porsche Cup of that time when I was with this couple and they were very, very, very slow and accidentally crashed.
I don't think it was an accident.
Oh, no, it wasn't. They were too wide driving next to each other and I had no idea because they were going like 2 miles per hour in a blind corner. And I accidentally almost hit into them. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, I gotta go. And then this one guy just went like 5 miles per hour instead of 2 and I passed him. And I almost crashed into him also because he hit the brakes in the middle of the corner. Not even before the corner. It was.
Oh, Racing Fan, what a save! Holy crap!
Oh, this guy's in a NASCAR or a Tower Redding's car. I just noticed that. I know. I say that.
Nothing on the radar still.
It's one of the reasons I took less gas is because I figured we'd have to pit again for wets.
He's in Tower Redding's Cheddar's car. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's stress.
Oh, Racing Fan.
Why is that curb there?
Don't ask questions.
Why? Curb coming off the final corner. Why is that there?
One thing I don't get, what was so prolific about Columbine compared to like a bunch of other shooting? It's just like if you're like just learning about this shit, you're probably thinking Columbine's like the first major shooting, and yet you learned that like there was a mass shooting at the University of Boston in the 50s, and then a mass shooting at McDonald's in the 80s. Like,
Well, because the thing is, those things were before the time where mass shootings were part of the narrative. They want to get rid of guns so people can't defend themselves from the state. That's why they want to get rid of them. Because they want all the power, because they're a bunch of power-hungry pieces of trash. Yes, here's the thing. I don't understand why people don't realize that if we just enforced the laws that are already on the books, it would solve a lot of the problems that we're having. The only laws that we need are something to break up things like Vanguard Group and BlackRock and prevent them from buying up all the houses on the housing market. We need something to prevent that from happening. And we need to get rid of affirmative action because it screws everybody over. And also the government needs to stop giving out college loans. That's it. Dude, I guarantee now if the government stopped giving out loans for college, the college prices would drop like 50%.
Oh, immediately.
Because what happens, and nobody seems to understand this with the free college debate, free college is retarded. What we should instead be saying is to the colleges, people who just want to go work like a job that you could do at a trade school don't need to go to college. So tell those people not to go to college. Only the people who need to go to college will go to college. And then on top of that, if the government doesn't literally tell the colleges, yeah, charge whatever you want and we'll pay for it, then the prices will go down. It's not
honestly,
hard, people.
The jobs that the world needs right now don't even need college. They just need their high school diploma, and that's it. And it's mostly
if I was around somebody, if I was around somebody that could teach me like coding, which I'm going to try to get Tyler Mallon to show me how to use assembly, so I can. My goal for NR 2003 is add double file restarts, overtimes, and what is it called? Track rubber. That's my goal. If I can see if that's even possible. So that way we can use game cautions. No.
Pem, if I were you, I would take over the NASCAR license and just create your own NASCAR game, and I would race in trucks just with your own game as your sponsor. If I were you.
Honestly, I think that if I could get the NASCAR license, like me and if Tyler shows me how to use assembly, I honestly like if the game was written in like if assembly is anything close to C. I honestly think that, like, because I know he already said that once the game's code is compiled, it doesn't show you any of the variables. But if I can create my own variables or edit existing ones to make like double file restarts, like edit where the cars are supposed to line up for a restart, I can do overtime probably as well. Like have it to where if I can have it set where the game will check if there's if there was a caution within like 5 laps and extend the race. If I could get the NASCAR license, like, dude, I could make some stuff, man.
I would love to see you make a game, since I know who you are, first of all. Not some random company that I have no idea how they're going to be when I hear about them.
Big fake gaming companies has NASCAR gaming by the balls.
Like, I never heard of motorsport games except for with the games they created, except for KartCraft. And I didn't know if they could make a good NASCAR game. And I know you can make NR 2003 like a completely different game, just with the same graphics. And I'd say that are the physics the same? In certain aspects, yes, right?
What do you mean?
Like NR 2003 physics, are they kind of the same?
For my mod?
As the original game files?
Like no, not really. I've changed pretty much everything about the physics engine.
Oh. Well, I know you can make a pretty realistic
Bernie, how many laps of
game
gas
on NR 2003. So I know that you have potential if you create a
What do you mean you have no idea?
Like, honestly, if I wouldn't get sued from iRacing, and if Tyler shows me how to, like, crack the game's code open, especially if I can, like, honestly, that's what I need to do. If I could get it to, like, if I could somehow acquire, like, if I had a lot of money, if I could buy the license to NR 2003 off of iRacing, because I wouldn't want to sell it, I'd just do this for free. I would then rewrite the entire game's code in C++ and then work from there. And then I could just do it all myself. Like, I'm not kidding when I say if the game's code was in C++ and I wouldn't get arrested for it or get a cease and desist, I could add dynamic track grip and rubbering in like 3 days. That's not even a joke. Like, it wouldn't even be hard. Because all I have to do is detect what part of the track the tires are on and then take slight bits of grip away from that lane of the track. For every bit you run that line. Like, for every second there's a car on that line. That's all I would have to do, and it'd be fine.
Do you think you could get hired to work for iRacing?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if I'd want to work for iRacing because, like, the thing is, okay, I'm telling you this now. If they showed me around the office, showed me how to patch the game in like a day or two, I could fix all the problems with the tire model and with the track rubber. I could fix it. I'm not even kidding. The game's written in C++, as far as I'm aware. I could fix it with my current knowledge of computers, which isn't as high as a lot of other people. Which is what pisses me off so much about the fact that they haven't fixed it. It's not hard. Just make it to where you lose less grip when the tires start to slide on iRacing. Make it to where they pick up less heat, but they wear more. And have more rubber be laid down on the track and have the tires or have the track lose grip on the lanes where there's rubber. That's all it needs. And then iRacing is literally fantastic. That's all it needs.
All right, I'm just going to put it in auto drive. And
drives me crazy that they won't fix it.
Well, maybe they need somebody to. Who knows?
Well, the thing is, Jake, they had it fixed. Before the entire model V6, all those things were like that. I don't think it was perfect. It still needed some tweaks, but it was great. Like, if you go back and watch videos from iRacing 2018, they were Larson lining at Homestead in Chicago. And then all of a sudden they update to V7 and the tire model goes to absolute crap. Because they tried to fix something and it broke the whole thing. But yet they've been on it for 3 years. You'd think they'd at least go back to what they used to have.
I think maybe from the pandemic, that what drivers would say, they'd be like, oh, maybe we gotta fix it because maybe we won't sell our product. And no, they didn't.
The exact thing the drivers were saying is exactly what I was thinking the whole time. That's why I focused so hard on my tire model for NR 2003, is because I don't want with NR, the car doesn't just randomly cliff on tire grip. You can tell when it's loose.
Yes, because it feels like you're still going the same speed, but when you look at the actual speed, you're getting gradually slower every lap. And I was like, man, this tire model feels so weird. And next, you know what, I was running 29s, I'm like, I didn't know I was running that slow when we were running Texas. Because I felt like I was going pretty quick still, because I was still sticking to the track. And
yeah, it's not like iRacing where you can tell when the tires are gone. With mine, it's a gradual process, but it's realistic. All I want with NR, my goal, is to make it to where, and I think it's doable. All I have to do, because there's code in the game already existing to detect what piece of track you're on, asphalt, concrete, or paint.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
And all I have to do is I just have to edit it to where if it detects you are on that piece of surface, it takes a very, very minute piece of grip away from that part of the track. And then, if it detects like you're under caution or whatever, and you run over that, it adds grip back because the tire will pick the rubber off the racetrack. So that's all it has to do. And then I could have every track have a setting in the track INI that determines at what pace does the track rubber up. And tracks like Martinsville and Dover would be really high. And tracks like Vegas would be really low.
Is it possible to add PJ1 to NR?
Yes, I already did it at multiple tracks. I did it at Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I added it completely at Phoenix. There's a couple other tracks that have it, like Pocono and Michigan.
Oh. Is PJ1
Bernie,
fun?
how do you still have gas, my guy?
Yeah, it makes stuff multi-groove. But the thing is, Jake, I go through the track settings and I made it myself to where it's multi-groove. A lot of the tracks weren't.
Oh.
Oh.
Like, I've had to make a lot of tracks multi-groove like myself. I had to do it myself.
Can you make Martinsville multi-groove?
Yes, it already is. I have the Martinsville we use is multi-groove.
Is it, what, do you make the high side have more grip than the...
it's a combination of track grip and the setup, but you can literally run the fourth groove at Martinsville.
Bernie, didn't you just say you're out of gas? Oh, okay, good, you did pit.
I mean, if in real life, if they added PJ1 to the fourth lane at Martinsville, then I think you can run the high lane. And
I don't know, not with this car, the next gen, which sucks. Kind of. Well, it depends.
I mean, the car looks. I think the next gen kind of looks awful. When it on the track, it kind of looks awful. But when it's just shown on display, it looks. I love how it looks. But then, when it races with the paint
some of the noses look a little goofy, like the Ford. I like it overall, but I really don't know who decided that a stock car needs an independent rear suspension. That person should have gotten smacked upside the head when they said that.
Like when I saw the manufacturer cars when the next gen car was revealed last year, I was like, wow, this car looks pretty nice. But then once I saw the cars on track with their paint schemes and stuff, it just looked awful.
Since they got revealed.
Yep.
Yes, it got revealed May 5th of last year.
Jesus.
Jeez. Time flies when you're having fun.
Actually, it got released on April 28th when somebody leaked the picture of the Ford and the Chevy.
I kind of think the forward numbers kind of ruined the designs of the next gen.
Yeah, just a little.
Yes, some of them they did it really well, but others it's like, what the heck?
Teams
What the heck?
Most of the teams have surprisingly done a good job with the forward numbers.
Even for some throwbacks, they look decent.
Yeah, throwbacks this year have been really good.
Everyone's been so ticked off about that. I'm like, golly, you guys are pressed over paint schemes.
We're complaining over the wrong thing. We need to freaking tell NASCAR to kick Goodyear in the A and make them make a good tire.
Well, it's because Hoosier won't come back, and
course they
Firestone and them
won't.
don't have any.
Well, what about
any
General
interest.
Tire? Do you think they'll? I know they do ARCA, but would they do the other
Well, I don't
series?
know. But with how
Probably
Arca's
too
been,
much
I'm a
money.
little bit scared.
Okay.
Well, they haven't had tire failures. They just had driver failures.
Head nut failures.
Well, they don't have enough of a long run because there's so many cautions that come out,
Tire failure at Arco.
and they're
That's true. Think
They don't
about
have
it.
a long enough green flag run to get one.
exactly. That's what I
Speaking
just
of
said.
green
'Cause
flag
there's-
runs. You get a caution?
I don't know why Arca did moved off of the Gen 4. They should have stayed with it.
Imagine the Mustang decals on the Gen 4.
Ooh,
oh, gosh, no.
burns my eyes.
Oh. Me and Bush almost went at the same
I think
time.
on super speedways, what they should do with ARCA is I think they should run the Gen 6 on super speedways so they can at least have some sort of pushing going on because you can't do that with the Gen 4s.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
run
then
them on
again,
X-
the Arca drivers don't know how to push. Although, actually, you're right. They wouldn't know how to push, and they just wreck every lap like they do anyway.
But they should run them on X pipes so they sound like the Gen 4. But then every other track should be run with the Gen 4 car.
It used to look really cool back in Arco, like around 2013, 2014, when they had the Camry decals on the Gen 4.
But what was funny is that with the Gen 4 ARCA, they would look so. They would be so many cars in the field that like half of them would wreck on lap 1. Because they were. It was just old Gen 4 cars that someone found
Dude,
a long time ago.
so many cars used to start in these ARCA races, especially at the plate races, because it was
And
such
then they
an
would all
old-
wreck
it
on
was-
lap 2 from like some type of failure or just a lack of talent.
Remember when they
Now
wrecked
there's
on
only
lap
like
2
20.
at Daytona in 2016?
And it's still to this day. I remember there was this guy at Daytona who drove through the Daytona grass in the trial.
And you really
and
should have done the
nobody,
short version of this track.
nobody on TV said anything or on the cameras. It was like, what the heck?
At least we still have some sort of Arco stupidity. Oh,
I mean,
I don't know which is worse,
Way
ARCA or
too
trucks.
ARCA.
they're both equally stupid.
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
they
I
are.
agree with that.
Trucks, there's more drivers that are stupid. Well, there's a
there's
lot of
Haley
talented
Deegan.
drivers.
You know, when I
Well-
go back to the days when most of the truck field was full of veterans.
Well, in trucks, there's a lot of drivers, so
There's a lot of drivers that will
that
never
they don't
be
know how
in
to
the Cup
race next
Series.
to each other.
No, they
They don't
will
know how-
never be anything other than truck drivers. That's the thing.
And like what Kyle Busch said, they're all about money.
Yeah.
95%
That's the thing with
of truck
no.
drivers.
That's the thing with trucks, the truck series, and that's why I don't care to watch it. Is because it's full of a bunch of has-beens that don't belong on the track anymore, and that's why it's so darn difficult for people to get into a Cup Series ride nowadays, other than with money, because there's literally no one in the truck series belongs on that track, and belongs like genuinely racing there. Maybe a few of the youngsters, but like the old guys who are a bunch of has-beens that have nothing else to do with their career, like friggin' what's his name, Matt Crafton, and what's the other guy? He always races the O2 for our motorsports, for the Kami Motorsports.
Spencer Boyd? No.
No.
Brett Moffitt.
Yeah. Well, he's not. No, it's not Brett. Oh, who am I thinking of?
Jimmy Spencer.
Is it Johnny Sauter? No, I don't know.
Jimmy
Johnny
doesn't race
Sauter?
anymore.
No. I don't know who he is. Anyways, doesn't matter. Either way, Truck Series is full of a bunch of has-beens. Xfinity Series is full of a bunch of young guys who want to prove themselves against bushwhackers that come down, including Elliott. Yeah, I know you can get after me for Mickey Elliott, whatever. I don't care. I genuinely do not care. I think it's cool that them guys get to race. Yeah, whatever. But at the same time, I also think it's dumb. But when people like Kevin Harvick who are like, oh, well, the young guys have no respect, it's because they spend their entire truck career coming up through the ranks trying to fight all these old guys who think they're somebody when they're in fact nobody.
Remember back in 2020?
Ben Rhodes, that's who it is. That's who I'm thinking of.
Who?
Remember back in 2020 before the pandemic when Kevin Harvick put like some sort of bet on all the Cup drivers to
Yeah.
each as much as they
Wait,
want
what
to.
driver are you thinking of?
To beat Kyle Busch
Wait, what driver are you thinking of, pal?
in the
Was
Truck
it?
Series. Huh? It was
What
Ben
driver are you thinking
Rhodes.
of in the O2?
I
Oh,
can't believe Ben Rhodes has
No,
actually been in the truck series for
not
like
in the
6
O2.
years at this point.
oh.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, these guys have to fight tooth and nail because they've got old guys in the truck series who are a bunch of has-beens who think they're good. And so when they have to, like, literally rough them up because that's what they do, don't think that the truck series guys are innocent. Them old retards in the truck series just wreck about as many cars as the young guys do. And it's because they can't win against the young guys, so they literally have to wreck them. Look at the Daytona 500. They have to beat and bang each other and literally almost wreck the guy in first. Every year, them stupid Thor Sport trucks have to always somehow find a way to wreck the leader almost so they can win the stupid race because they hardly ever do it normally. And then so when those guys get to Xfinity, when the actual decent truck drivers that are young get to Xfinity, they've all got that ingrained in their minds already. So they're just going for it. And plus, they've got to go up against the Cup drivers that come down there every now and then. Like, I'm not a huge, like, advocate for people, for the Cup Series coming down. I think it does help them every now and then. But when it's consistent, I could care less for that. See, like, this whole thing with Elliott and them racing, they hardly ever race in the Xfinity Series. You don't see Hendrick fielding the 88, or Junior Motorsports fielding the 88 every single season so that the guys from Hendrick can get extra seat time. And they ran the Truck Series race this season, too, at Circuit of the Americas, which, granted, when the Cup Series is hardly doing any practice to begin with, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But, like, when you had guys like Kyle Busch who were racing literally every single race on their schedule so they could just do it for fun, pretty much, because it wasn't for practice, let's be honest here, all right? He's literally raced for, like, how many seasons? He definitely doesn't need any practice. That's just a load of bull crap. So that's why I get pressed about that, because it just literally doesn't make any sense.
I'm happy that NASCAR changed the rules for only Cup drivers to do 5 races in Xfinity or trucks in the entire season, because I think when it comes down to a new track, I don't mind when a guy from the higher series comes down as some
Yeah,
practice.
like Dirt Bristol, when they were racing that, I don't care. That's a new track layout. It's whatever.
Yeah.
They can race that. That's fine. But, like, Kyle Busch was literally doing it, like, Auto Club, and at tracks, like, he was just knew he could win at.
He was just helping to make money for his team. That's
Exactly.
pretty much all he
That's
was
really
doing.
all it was for him to run his sponsors around the track for a few laps. Then he created
make
his own
him
energy
happy.
drink company, and now he can just literally do it whenever he wants. So, like, it just genuinely ticks me off. And then those guys, the young guys that I was talking about in the Xfinity Series, they get to the Cup Series, and believe me, it's just as cutthroat there to win the race. We finally got a car where everyone's at least a little bit competitive, and even then the big teams are starting to already pull away from the rest of the field already. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand if if it's a big team, hey, they deserved it, they put in the effort, I guess, whatever. But, like, to see teams like Trackhouse win and stuff like that, and for people that have called Chastain such a hack for so many years because the dude didn't win with, like, who was he with? Chip Ganassi, right?
No, he was with freaking JD
He was with-
Motorsports.
No, I'm talking
Putting
about
their
Cup
cars
Series.
in the top 10. Oh, he was with
Well-
Chip, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm seeing, like, that was after the whole Larson deal and after the 42 car was just a pile of steaming crap. I mean, they switched
He
from...
still got second a couple times.
They started... Oh, yeah,
He did.
and he even won those 2 races. He won those 2 races in 2019, right? 19? No. Yeah, 2019. And then 2020, he decided to say the funky town and went to Hendrick for that.
Darlington, but Hammond had to exist, and freaking, I still hate Hammond for that.
Dude,
Wait, what
I
happened?
was looking back at 2020 , right? I was
2020
looking back...
Darlington, the throwback weekend. Hammond was leaching. We were coming down to the end of the race. It was Hammond, Chastain, and Brandon Jones was behind.
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Oh yes,
Hammond
when
just straight
yes.
up
Dude,
sent
I
it in
looked
the
back.
green.
I forgot how many times that Chase Elliott got wrecked or held up by a Gibbs driver that race or that season. Do you remember all the times that Elliott genuinely got screwed over that season in 2020? He would have probably had like about the same amount of wins as the other guys.
That's why I don't really, with the whole Mickey Mouse Championship thing. Elliott would have had the same amount of wins.
I was thinking the same
Harvick
thing.
did.
I genuinely was thinking the same thing, that Elliott was a Mickey champion because it's kind of funny, but at the same time, he didn't get as many wins as the other guys, and
the wins
obviously they
don't
were a lot
matter
more
as the
competitive.
points, in my opinion.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, but that's the thing. You see, Elliott had so many races where he got 2 races where he got wrecked from almost winning the race.
And
he would have had
I'm
the
not saying he
same
wasn't
amount
fast,
of wins.
but if something happens where you can't put the season together where it's your fault or somebody else's, then rip Bozo. I mean, look at what happened to Kevin Harvick at the end of the season. That was stupid. But
Well, that's why
anyways,
I think
not the
Chase
point.
Elliott was
The
not
point
a Mickey
is
Mouse
that
champion
he
because
literally
he
had the
coulda-
chance to. No, and that's the thing. See, people bring up wins like they matter.
the wins are
okay?
stupid.
And,
It's the points.
and even
Wins don't matter at
then,
all.
Harvick still bombed his championship in literally everything except for the Winston format. So, like, I mean, we've been using this format for how many years, and he couldn't put together since then, since he won his first championship. Like, that's his problem, okay? I don't care. And Hamlin, same thing. Hamlin can suck it. He's literally been balls terrible every time he gets to a championship race. Something happens to him. I hope he wins a championship before he retires. I genuinely hope he does. I don't hate Hamlin. I don't. But I think that if he's just going to do the Mark Martin Funky Town all throughout the rest of his career, I mean, hey, at some point, gotta stop feeling bad for him. I mean, how many seasons is he gonna go without winning a championship? Like, how many seasons has he been close to winning a championship? Almost every single season that he's been a part of, he's at least had some shot. There was a point where he was doing terrible, and then he's had a resurgence in his career where he's doing great again, but even then, he still hasn't won it. He comes close, he goes to the championship 4, but he's never hardly ever the best car. I think the only time he was the best car was last season, and friggin' they had Larson's pit crew just go 8 mode on pit road, and that's how he won the race. That's how he got the championship. So, like, it's just genuinely sad for him, but at the same time,
points, Bernie.
it's also
And
like,
you get a point for leading the lap.
it's also just genuinely, like, mute at this point. Like, who else was a part of that championship 4? Joey Logano, right?
Yeah, Truex.
Okay. Yeah, and,
No,
and
it was
Truex.
Elliott,
I'm talking about
Larson,
Elliott.
Truex, Hamlin.
No, I'm talking about Elliott's championship.
Elliott.
It was,
Elliott was Hamlin, Elliott, Keselowski, Logano, which was so
Yeah.
stupid.
yeah, like
a dumb jump
Keselowski,
for.
and they're saying that Elliott's the Mickey part of that? Keselowski made it to the thing, and he had, what, 3 wins? That he backed into? 2 of them he backed into.
He had 5.
No, he dominated all 3 races he won, but he still had less wins than
didn't.
What
Elliott.
about Bristol?
No, he
Bristol,
didn't.
he
No,
only
he definitely
got...
didn't.
Oh, no, actually,
Bristol
no, I
and
forgot about
Charlotte.
that. Yeah, I
Bristol
forgot
and
about
Charlotte.
that. Elliott
Charlotte,
just
he won off
absolutely
Augustus in a stupid
obliterated.
call, and then
I
Elliott
forgot about that,
obliterated
yeah.
Logano. Yeah,
That was still so stupid. That wreck was one of the dumbest things I've seen in a while.
What, the
Oh,
Bristol
hey, I know of a
2020?
pretty dumb wreck. Hey, the clash with
Retarded.
Kyle Larson. That was a pretty
Didn't
rough
ask.
one, huh? And then what about, I don't know, him just turning right on the straightaway and putting Elliott into the wall. Yeah, that was a pretty dumb
Net
wreck.
code.
Yeah.
That was an earthquake.
Yeah.
It's all net code.
What I think they should do is that they should have... the format, I think, should stay the same, but the Final 4, what they should do is they should have 4 races in the Final 4. And there's no stage points allowed. Where
Should be
they
no
race...
no participation. Axe
What?
axe the chase and the stage points. Axe both of them. Let the racing speak for itself. You should not be watching every week using the championship battle as a crutch to make the racing interesting. No. The racing should be interesting, and if the championship battle happens to be interesting, then that's fine. We run a whole 36 races. A reset makes the entire 36 races meaningless. If you're just going to do a reset, then just run the last 10 races and be done with it. Freaking do an IndyCar where they only run like 10 races in the season. We have 36 races, use all of them.
The problem is with everyone's such short attention span and everything with social media these days, like everyone's just like.
The only
oh,
reason,
racing's
look
not
at
good.
F1. The reason why F1 blew up was because Lewis
Because
versus
Drive to
Max.
Survive.
And that was only Drive to Survive and Lewis versus Max. Lewis versus Max was a one-in-a-lifetime thing, and it was not, well, I mean, the FIA did kind of dabble a bit into it, but they kind of screwed it over. They screwed over both drivers equally, so I think it's okay. So, for the most part, it happened almost completely organically. Do you know why nobody cares about these championships anymore? The only reason why people care about Larson's title is because he absolutely destroyed everyone the whole year. Nobody cares about Logano's championship. No one cared about Harvick's. No one cares about either of Kyle Busch's. People only care about Truex because, once again, he destroyed everybody. No one really even cares about Elliott's. The reason why nobody cares about these titles is because they don't freaking mean anything anymore. The championship used to be a way of telling you who was the best driver all season, but now it's not. So what's the point of even having the trophy? What does it mean anymore? Congratulations, you survived.
Won the championship this season.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. But if he does, I'm going to be genuinely angry because every time I see two championships, I'm going to have to think, yeah, well, one of them was Mickey. It's going to make me sad.
I think what helps F1 also is that the races are quite short. I mean, they're not that short, but they're about an hour and 45 minutes, which is still a long time, but NASCAR's what, 3 hours?
Everybody says that NASCAR races should get short and needs to jump off a bridge.
That's retarded.
I mean, I don't think the
NASCAR is endurance.
shortened.
NASCAR's more of an endurance series than it is friggin' racing.
But I just
Kevin
feel
Harvick can
like
suck my testicles for saying that Atlanta shouldn't be 500 laps. How about you run 500 laps dragging your face across the pavement?
Atlanta's 500 laps?
Remember the caution clock?
Yes.
The caution clock was so stupid but hysterical at the same time because it caused so much carnage for no reason. Like, nobody remembers it.
The sky's getting darker because it's getting darker.
Speaking of, like,
it's not rain.
Championships,
Oh, jeez! I'm sorry, racing fan. Both cars got loose there.
Back then, I didn't really know what the caution clock was about because I didn't really pay attention to the truck series that much back
I'm just gonna back out at this point. I'll be 6th.
I realized about it like
Pam.
I heard
it's the stupidest thing ever.
points.
I heard of the caution clock, but I never actually knew that they used it. I thought it was like a concept. But
don't be a fool about fire safety. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just there's so much just retarded garbage that NASCAR does. It's I wish if they would just mandate that you have to lock the front and rear suspension, and get rid of stages and get rid of the chase, dude. The series would be so goated. I mean, it's already pretty awesome now.
It's really sad when you think about
this whole
that.
season's been pretty good, honestly.
Practically, it was the reason why stages
Here's the thing. The entire reason why everybody knows the whole reason why stages exist is just for caution. Everybody knows it. It's so retarded too.
I hate when there's a stage at a super speedway. I love the racing, and then it just gets ruined from a stage break.
I hate when there's stages anywhere. It's so retarded because it ruins the strategy. Why do you think we don't see any fuel miles? Okay, let me say this to you guys. Think of how many, ever since they implemented stages in 2017, think of how many people have won so many races. Starting in 2017, Truex won 8, Kyle Busch won 6, Larson won 4. 2018, Harvick won 8, Truex won 4, Logano won 4, Kyle Busch won 7. 2019, Hamlin won 7, Truex and Kyle won 6, Kyle Busch won 5. 2020, Harvick won 9, Hamlin won 7. 2021, Larson won 10. The reason why so many drivers win so many freaking races is because we don't have an option for the strategy to screw somebody over. Think about any of those races that were just flat out dominated by somebody from start to finish, so boring. Think about if just one of them had a caution in the pit cycle that trapped a bunch of people a lap down. You remember that Vegas race from 2020 where it was Kurt Busch versus Matt DiBenedetto for the win? For the last like 60 laps because everybody else got trapped a lap down?
It was the last 2 laps.
Yeah, well, they were battling for a while because on the last pit cycle, like, everybody got caught a lap down. That needs to happen more, but it literally can't. Because we went from having like 4 green flag pit stops during the races where that could happen to 1. No wonder we don't have any strategy races anymore. It's ridiculous. In the last 4 years, we've had a grand total of 1 fuel mileage race. Yeah. NASCAR can lick my hairy balls.
I'm NASCAR.
I mean,
that was pretty funny. That was
probably the better driver that entire season.
Oh yeah, he probably was.
Well, in 2018, it was either Busch or Harvick. Truex was decent, but Busch or Harvick was far and away the
Elliott
best.
of that season. Truex was the Elliott of that season. It's funny.
Which
I find
season?
it funny. Literally, no one else gets called Mickey champion, but Chase Elliott literally had put himself in a better position that season than the majority of the drivers. Meanwhile, Logano lucked his way in with the Talladega win and just barely made it. And then Busch before that, I mean,
No one
Busch
talks
was
about
pretty good that
if
season.
Gordon won 2015. That would have been more Mickey than Kyle.
Oh yeah,
That would have been way more
Gordon
Mickey than
winning
yeah.
Mickey. Oh, Gordon winning. Although the thing is,
Gordon
the way
winning.
I kind of look at a lot of these championships is they won in a year they shouldn't have, which is a little annoying. But a lot of the drivers should have won the title in a different year. Like Kevin Harvick, he would have won 2015 without that, without the chase format. So that's kind of okay. Joey Logano would have won. Logano would have won 15. Harvick would have won 16. So that's understandable, kind of.
Logano
so that makes your
15, though.
no, he was clearly the best driver. He would have won in pretty much any format aside from that.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I don't like Logano, but we have to admit he was the best driver in all fairness. The issue with Elliott, and the reason why I think that the reason I think that people specifically with Elliott's is one because the Elliott stands on Twitter are literally so annoying. Nobody wants to give him any credit for anything he does. And although the Larson fans are getting there, they make me want to strangle them. Like, yes, I know he won the latest dirt race. No, I don't care. Like, they're talking all this stuff about what Larson said about World of Outlaws. Like, I don't care what Larson has to say about World of Outlaws. Kill yourself.
Yeah, genuinely,
nobody
World of
cares.
Outlaws. The Dirt Series has nothing to do with Larson, especially in the Cup Series. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, she's so good because of the Dirt, guys, because of the Dirt. It's like, look at literally anyone else.
Look at Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You're the dirt driver.
All right. Stenhouse isn't doing good. Literally on dirt,
He's only
Larson was
ahead
the
of
worst out
Cody
of
Ware
all of
in
them.
points.
I don't understand. Like, the dirt... I don't get why people talk. At this point, if you watch NASCAR and you don't know that Kyle Larson's good on dirt, then I don't know what to tell you, Chief.
No, it's not
I'm
that.
so
It's the
tired
fact
of
that
them
they think
talking about it
that
so much.
him
And they think that he's like
on
the
dirt.
best driver ever
Exactly.
made. It's like, he might be one of the best drivers in NASCAR, but it's like, every time he wins, or even just does well, it's like, people, he's a driver. Stop. Please, I can't take it anymore.
Like
I can't listen to Larson stands anymore. He won Auto Club, and I almost deleted my account because all the Larson fans were talking about it, and I'm like, yes, I understand that he's
after
good.
you wrecked
No,
his
you don't
teammate.
have to tell me. He won the title last year. We understand. Why are you talking about this?
Just saying, did Logano not make the playoffs in 2017?
Yes, because he cheated.
Yeah.
Because he cheated, because he's a
Isn't that
bozo.
crazy to think and then he wins the championship next year? That's just so hard to take in. Like, just think a guy...
His win got cucumbered.
I know, right? He won the battle, but he didn't win the war, and yet he did win the war, somehow.
That sucked. Yeah, and then Truex, I hated that season mainly. I remember watching that championship. I wish Truex would have just dumped him. I don't know why he
so
didn't.
funny.
I know, right?
He should have. I genuinely
He
don't
should've.
know why
Yeah,
he didn't.
and right
talked
then and
such a-
there, he would have become the new Intimidator, right there. Nobody messing with Martin
Dude,
Truex
people
after
would
that.
have liked him. People would have liked him
If
from
there
that
is
because
one
it's
driver
Logano.
that you can get away with just flat out wrecking for any reason, it's Joey Logano.
Exactly, and especially after he's done
Because
it
he
to
would
you.
have done it.
Look at
Joey
Kenseth.
would have done
Look at
it.
Kenseth. People love Kenseth for wrecking
know, right?
Logano.
The thing is, though, Joey Logano would have wrecked Truex in that situation.
Oh yeah.
And what's annoying is that
would've.
Kenseth got punished for that. Like, he got suspended, and
Yeah, but that was like he flat out wrecked him. If like Truex does it and wins the race, he literally would have been
So
like
there's nothing
goated.
so there's nothing wrong with straight up wrecking the leader when you're 9 laps down.
It's so funny.
No,
honestly.
there is nothing wrong with that. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course the Gordon fan would say that.
You know what? You're not wrong. But you know what? You know what? Boyer deserved it, and I will stand by that.
He did deserve
who would
it.
have won the 2014 championship?
Didn't ask.
Newman.
Who?
You know, Jeff Gordon would have 7 championships if it wasn't for the chase.
He would have, because he's the greatest driver. Jeff Gordon is the greatest NASCAR driver of all time, and you will never change my opinion. You're objectively wrong. You are objectively wrong if you disagree with me.
That seems like a skill issue.
Funny. That's so
Objectively wrong
funny.
if you disagree with
I
me.
genuinely laughed. That was such a good joke, Pem. Man, you're such a comedian.
Well, name me a better driver. Name me a
I
better
think
driver.
Jeff Gordon is better than Jimmy Johnson.
That's just a given. That's easy. But even with Earnhardt, he won more races and would have won the same amount of titles.
I mean,
And
Earnhardt
then-
died, so like.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, Jeff
really
didn't
do
die,
much
so
when
better
you're
driver.
dead.
Jeff didn't hit the wall.
Yeah, that's true.
Better driver alert. It was a skill issue.
Had him on the road most of the time.
Earnhardt hitting the walls is a complete skill issue.
That's because Alan had him on pit road most of the time.
You're not wrong. Dude, that 2015 Martinsville race, if Jeff had lost that because Alan pitted him for no reason with 20-something
Jamie
to go...
McMurray should have won that race. Changed my mind.
Imagine if
Fans,
Jamie
I'm not
McMurray
kidding about
would've won.
this. I think Alan Gustafson might have gotten shot.